But as promised, here's more on the 1Q, the market and indeed the economy will watch very carefully the monsoons. Ajit Tyagi, Dr. Ajit Tyagi of the Met Department joins in to talk about the preliminary trends and why it seems to be pointing to a normal performance this time. Dr. Tyagi, good to have you on the show. Tell us what the long-term trend portends right now for monsoons this year.
Yeah, the early forecast which we have issued on 17th based on the inputs available to us till the end of March indicates that this year will have a near normal monsoon, 96% of long-term average. And this is within the range of the normal, which is from 96 to 104%. So it is on the lower side of the normal, but there is no cause of any alarm at this stage because these are the early estimates, and we will update again in the month of April and May as and when the new inputs are available to us.
At this early stage, what can you tell us about disruptive elements, globally disruptive elements like El Nino and how they are progressing for the year?
No, there is no El Nino. That is a good sign. We are still in the La Nina phase, and the models which are indicating that it will be near neutral. So there is no cause of alarm which normally people associate with the El Nino. Though we have indicated a little bit because of this neutral conditions, as of now we want to be on the cautious side, and that neutral conditions gives rise to a little variable monsoon, and therefore without being alarmist, we have been conservative in our giving a 96% estimate with the early indications, which will update again as and when we get the new inputs in the month of April and May.
From your own experience, Dr. Tyagi, how close is the April forecast to what the actual rainfall is? What kind of gap or deviation is there usually seen?
You see, the last year we had given 99% and we have come true to 98%. I think we can be very happy with that forecast. And this year too, we have consulted not only our models but various other inputs which are available to us from our other sister organizations and the international community. And we are fairly confident that this year too our forecast should be fairly good. Of course, the model dispersion is 5% plus minus. And on the lower side it can go down to 91%, but even that it doesn't bring it to an extreme case of a drought. It doesn't. It is maybe below normal, but we are very confident that our errors will not be more than 1 or 2%.
At this early stage, in the early forecast, Dr. Tyagi, can you tell us anything about the pattern of distribution this time around?
No, this is a macro level all India rainfall forecast for the country as a whole. We will be giving these forecasts as we get into the month of April. Onset will give in the month of May, the onset of monsoon, which is a very important event. And thereafter, towards the end and early beginning of June will be giving you forecast about the various subdivisions wise forecast as well as the monthly forecast, which is very useful for planning the agricultural operations.
We had a very successful monsoon last year, Dr. Tyagi. At this point, in terms of a comparison, does it look like it's going to be as normal a monsoon as we saw in 2008?
You see, no two monsoons are similar, so you can't draw anything that it had been yesterday. But the indications, as we brought in our forecast, does suggest that the monsoon should be the near normal monsoon, and we should be fairly hopeful that the distribution also in most part of the country will be fairly uniform. Of course, in any normal monsoon also we have got areas where the monsoon becomes deficit, pockets in the country, and also some areas where there will be heavy rainfall leading to floods also. But we don't see the extreme events in this year with this type of distribution leading to the large amount of deficit rainfall in major parts of the country or the floods in most of the country. So we think that distribution will be fairly okay.
Good to hear that, Dr. Tyagi. Thanks very much for joining in today. That's the Director General of the Met Department saying they don't want to be complacent yet, but they believe that there's nothing to be worried about at this point in time. They're being conservative in putting out that forecast of 96% rainfall, but they believe, from what you heard, that this should be another year of a good monsoon, which will be good news for the stock market too.